Welcome back, all you kings, queens, and in-betweens, to another video here on the channel. Today, we are going to be continuing our journey into Pride Month with a BL anime this time, not a GL anime like we've been covering, and that is Sasaki and Miyano. Elaine, you want to give us a little description of this anime?
Sure. So both Sasaki and Miyano are high schoolers. Miyano is sometimes referred to as Mia. And Mia is someone who really loves BL manga and anime and anything BL yaoi. He reads it all the time, but he's very embarrassed by his love for this. And one day he has a fateful encounter with an upperclassman named Sasaki, and the two really hit it off and form a friendship that slowly develops into something more.
And that's basically the principle behind it. I was trying to click in the other screen to look up the title that they call him. Fudachi? Is that what they call him?
I think so.
Yeah, they call him a specific term that represents a guy who likes BL manga, and then there's a term for girls who like BL that they refer to him as repeatedly, or refer to one of the girlfriends as. But what did you think of this anime?
I think this one was a bit of a mixed bag. There were some parts that I felt made it more relatable and more realistic, but were also kind of sad. Predominantly, Miyano's dislike for his own character. He is someone who is characterized very much as an otaku, someone who really, really loves BL specifically, but he's so embarrassed that he, won't read it in public, doesn't want anyone to know about it, doesn't want anyone to find him buying it, and those kinds of things. And on the one hand, that's relatable and understandable and realistic because LGBT stuff isn't always accepted by society, and he faces potential ridicule by his peers and family and so on and so forth. But it's also kind of sad that he can't just be himself and be like, well, I like BL, so what? Let me read what I like. I let you read what you like. We should all be Gucci,
Yeah, but there's definitely this undercurrent of insecurity, and Sasaki is kind of one of the people that helps open his eyes to the fact that there's all that insecurity, and he's very blasé when he handles the BL manga. Like, he'll just leave it at home, like on his bed or on his desk or whatever, and Mia is like, hey, how could you do that? How could you leave it out? What if somebody sees it? All that kind of stuff. I will say that I enjoyed this anime for several reasons, one of which being the voice acting in the English dub I think was really good. Kellen Goff is the one who voices Sasaki, and he gives him a lot of character. I really like how he talks, and I think that the aesthetics of the show are really nice at times. The character designs are, pretty standard for BL kind of anime. Everybody's kind of lanky with an angular face, which is pretty much what a lot of BL characters look like. But I like how when emotional things are happening, they have all these like geometric shapes that go across the screen. I think that's kind of an interesting way of indicating things. I think there was a fairly logical progression on their relationship, even though it took a really long time for them to talk about their feelings. And yeah, this was one that I'd probably recommend. What about you, Elaine?
I would recommend it too, even though for whatever reason, even though we both very much liked this BL as one of our first BL experiences, because admittedly we haven't experienced this as much as GL or Yuri, the episodes felt like weirdly long.
They did.
They were a standard episode length consistently. We were just like, why aren't we farther in this one? But it was enjoyable. They eventually got to where we expected them to go. There wasn't a full-on tease for the entire season, which is what we see a lot with Yuri. Not to poke Yuri and be like, get with it, but get with it, Yuri. And
there also was a movie that we watched, which kind of concluded the story. Unfortunately, we weren't able to watch it in the dub, which I feel like was a little bit of a negative point, because we had gotten used to these characters with their certain voices and their character that was imbued in them, and then we watched a subtitled version of the anime, and I think that kind of detracted from it.
It just wasn't the same.
Yeah, the characters didn't sound the same. They didn't have the same kind of inflection. I mean, they had their own inflection, but they didn't have the kind of character that we had gotten used to. But I certainly would recommend this.
I would too. I think it's a good introduction to BL, and it's not one of those extremes where they have all the traumatic stuff happening, which can be a bit much for many people.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of problematic content in this, which is good, which we've encountered in a lot of BL/GL, a lot of that problematic, non-consensual stuff that tends to happen in those kind of animes. But you know what's something that's not ever going to be non-consensual? This anime review content here on the channel, because you click on it, so you're watching it. You're consenting to listening to our opinions on anime. Like the video if you like it. Comment down below, what are some of your BL/GL recommendations that you'd like to see us cover or talk about? What are your thoughts on this anime if you've seen it? And do you recommend it if you have, or do you think that this is something that people should be avoiding? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this content going forward, and ring that bell so you know what's up. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.